Echo of Glory, and today we are live. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us, Jake Sanders, hello.
Hello.
And Jake Robson.
Hello.
This is a first. This is an Echo of Glory first, not the live show, the fact that you two are on together. And you made the point to me. Go on, Jake. Go on. It's like...
Take it away. It's like Bentancur and Maddison. They've never played together.
Not a minute.
But we might see that this week, just like we've seen Double Jake in the studio this week.
So it's good to have you paired up together.
Double Jake, Jake squared. What do you reckon?
It's fitting.
We've got Jake 1 and Jake 2. I won't tell you which one's which. It made me, when you mentioned that Bentancur Maddison thing to me, it made me think about Spurs players that never played together that you would love to have played together.
Right.
Like maybe Kane and Modric for me. I think would have been lovely to see.
This is a curveball.
This is a curveball.
Okay.
I've given you no time to think. I've given you no time to think about it.
I'd love to have seen King with Toby or Jan.
You see, fine. It's interesting because when I thought about it, I was like thinking of strikers only, but actually defensive pairings also brilliant. King and Alderweireld.
And I guess people would probably say Modric, Dembele, wouldn't they?
Oof.
Did they play?
Yeah, they
No. I think Modric left. Dembele's replaced Modric. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Jake?
I mean, Ginola
With?
crossing into Kane.
Yeah.
Beating your man around the outside, cross it in. Harry finishes. That'll do.
I'd love to have seen a Bale and Kane, a prime Bale.
Oh, yeah.
I know we saw it briefly, but it wasn't proper. Was
Yeah,
it?
I thought about that one as well, but then was like, it happened. But yeah, prime Bale and Kane defensively, Alderweireld and...
What about Kane and Son? We'd have won loads if they'd played together.
Kane and Son?
Yeah.
That took a while for the penny to drop there. I was like, does this guy know what he's talking? Okay, it's a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. All right, so that's a little bit a trip down memory lane that I wasn't expecting to tell you that. Well, I planned it. I just threw a curveball down there for you. Last week we talked about memorabilia, your favourite bit of Spurs memorabilia, and we also we'll come to that in a second, but no, I'm going to come to it now. We talked about Richard Gough. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
And somebody sent a picture of, it was Lloyd Becker, one of our listeners, sent a picture of this, which is him meeting Richard Gough on honeymoon. Lloyd said he came down in a Ginola shirt, which is not what he's wearing there. And Richard Gough sort of said, I didn't expect to see that here. I think he said he was in Hawaii or somewhere like that. So I'm now on this path to get Richard Gough on the show.
Yeah, let's get him on.
To talk about that one season at Spurs.
I thought you were going to say to talk about the photo.
Well, I will.
We'll
show him the photo. And then Lloyd sent me this that he said he's going to dig out of the loft. Do you remember these?
Yeah.
Car mini kits.
Yeah.
Everybody had them, whatever club you supported.
Yeah.
I had one, I think the yellow away kit. Do you have one of these?
I didn't have a car at that point,
No,
so
right.
no. But
I
saw him.
If you'd had a car, would you have had one?
Absolutely. That one.
Good. And then...
And Jake, you're even younger than me, I think, so you definitely didn't have a car.
Which player comes to your mind when you see that kit?
I had Klinsmann.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Me too.
Klinsmann at Anfield.
Yeah, Klinsmann at Anfield. Yeah. And Adam Nathan, another listener or viewer. Talking of viewer, N17 Stews in the house, Coys. Yeah. We are live, so get involved on our YouTube or on our Twitter. Adam Nathan said, remember these?
Oh, goodness me.
The old Corinthian, Jerry Francis. Not sure what's happened to the one on the left. Looks like it's got some wall paint on. Nice. Do you have any of these?
Are they both Jerry?
Yeah, I think they're both Jerry.
Right.
Just got
the one on the right.
Yeah, it says Francis at the bottom.
But the one on the right definitely is.
But he mentions that he got a new shiny one when his son was born. If you look underneath his book by Sarah Mitchell, Baby Sleep Method. So Adam's very much in the zone of at the moment. Congratulations on your new baby.
Where's Chef Seat? I've got that one as well. We'll get Sarah on at some point.
Who's Sarah?
Sarah Mitchell.
Oh, Sarah Mitchell. Another great guest on the Echo of Glory. And then our very own producer James sent us this from 1990.
Wow.
He's not the one in the middle. That's Gary Mabbott.
So this is the lineup of Tottenham Liverpool.
I'm reliably informed we lost 3-1. That's a decent Liverpool team. Grobbelaar, Glenn Hussein, Burrows, Nickel, Ronnie Whelan.
That looks like to me, now I might be wrong, I don't know what this is. That looks like the kind of list you get in the hospitality dining room, is it? When they bring the team sheet round.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's giving it there, you go.
he's definitely in the posh seat.
Presenting man of the match.
Even though we lost 3-1. I
Very
can't get
good.
this up. No, I once presented in Man of the Match at Notts County Yeovil dressed as a pantomime horse for my stag. So very different. We'll bring that out next
Were
week.
you the? I think you mentioned this before. Were you the front or the back, or were you the whole horse?
I was the front.
You were the front.
Yeah.
Right. Who had to play the back legs?
No, it just came as a
Oh,
set.
it's one of those. Okay.
Right,
Lovely.
so bits of memorabilia. Jake Sanders.
So my dad got me when I was 13, like a pennant. It's like a framed pennant with.
Well, like they used to hand over in European
Yes.
nights.
I think they still do, don't they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we haven't been in Europe this season. I forgot.
We haven't got.
And then like it was all like portraits of the players
Mm.
signed.
What era?
056.
Oh,
So it was Defoe, Jermaine Genus, Lee Young-pyo, Dawson,
Lee Young, yeah.
Edgar Davids, 056.
Keane?
Yeah.
It was the lasagna
Yeah.
season.
Oh, God.
unfortunately.
Yeah, Keane.
Ah.
Martin
So it
Yole.
should be in the
King.
loft. But
Okay.
that's my best piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Jack-
good.
Jack
Well, I
Rock-
did
Jack
mine.
Robinson.
Mine last week was my Klinsmann kit, my first kit. But actually, as we've been getting rid of some stuff in our flat, and it's probably the worst piece of Tottenham memorabilia, but it's probably one of the most useful. Those are just digging stuff out. You know those bags that you get if you want to take stuff into the stadium. Those plastic
Yeah.
Tottenham branded bags. Yeah, I just found one of those.
That's
Probably
your
the worst bit of
That's
memorabilia.
an awful bit of Spurs
But
memorabilia.
it's the worst, but it's also, it's not like, it claws some points back because it's pretty useful.
Hmm.
If you've got to go to the stadium. You're not impressed, are you?
No, it's
But I was looking for it for a while.
It's just a bag.
It's just,
Who takes a bag?
yeah, no one.
All right. James, our producer, just prodded me to mention the vote again. Voting has closed. Voting has closed for the Best Team Podcast in the 2024 Sports Podcast Awards. We don't know if we're going to win. We suspect we'll win.
I thought we won already. I thought they
We
said.
can't say it yet.
Oh, right, okay.
Voting closed on Sunday night, I believe. But as we said all along, thank you to all those who have voted and listened and viewed and been with us on this journey since start of May.
And thanks to those who've come on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which one's Jake won? Jake won.
Lloyd said it was a.
times when we needed him the most, and Jake the bloke.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lloyd said it was a Hoddle shirt, not.
Oh,
no.
Lloyd's been on. It was a Hoddle
But
shirt.
he doesn't know why
not
he was
a
wearing
Gennaro.
it on his honeymoon.
Well, look, Lloyd, start as you mean to go on. Let her know early that this is it. You're going to be wearing these t-shirts, and I understand you're still happily married, so, and I hope you're still rocking the Hoddle shirt. A few other messages. We'll come to all these points throughout the show. Wilson T disappointed in Friday's game. I hope there's no hangover on Wednesday. We will come to Friday's game. Electric people still in the middle of a rebuild. Trust the process. Ooh, do we say trust the process? That's them up the road.
Another club says
That's them
that.
up the road. Son of a gun, can't wait to see Sam, Madison and Benty in midfield together for the first time, hopefully, against Everton. Yeah, that's what we were all wishing. Let's just start on a little point on Sarr, a little update on the AFCON. Senegal lost on penalties last night. Watching that, did you watch the shootout?
Nothing encapsulates being a football fan than staying up to 11 on a Monday. Being nervous in a penalty shootout to get one player back.
I was so nervous that I felt like Spurs were in the shootout. And Sarr stepped up to take his penalty. I was like, miss it. But he
I
buried
thought
it.
Uria was gonna miss and
Yeah, and
That's
keep
all.
Sarr out there.
or
So-
Pepe
so-
or something like that.
So Senegal lost. Sarr's coming home probably too early for tomorrow, even if he was flying back. He played 120 minutes last night. And
It's a long flight.
yeah, he won't be around tomorrow, I'm sure, but hopefully for the weekend. Mali are playing Burkina Faso today, and South Korea playing Saudi Arabia. So today I feel Burkinabe and Saudi. And we hope that those two, Sodom, hope they get beat and they come home. I don't care.
Maddison was supporting Sarr though.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
He wasn't really, was he? Deep down.
We think he wants him
If
back.
you give him the choice,
Go on.
the players, do they want South Korea to win today, or
No, they want Son back.
Well, the only
I
thing
don't know if players see it the same way.
yeah,
as
I don't think
fans.
they do. And also, for the game that we lose, the extra game that we lose some for, what could it do for him as a player, and therefore for Tottenham if he wins?
Well,
the
it could
Asia
be
Cup?
2. If he loses today, it will be
But
2.
you see what I mean?
I know
like,
what you mean.
He could come back. He could come back and just go to some other next level, couldn't he? Or
thing
he
is, though,
could be
that
really rubbish.
In
I don't know.
2019, I think they lost in the quarters, and he came back and scored in the first 3 games after
Yeah.
at Wembley. So
Point to prove. that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we all want him back.
Yeah. Big time.
Other bits of club news that we will rattle through. The under 21s beat Villa 5-3 at home. Will Lancashire hat-trick. They are top of the league, 11 from 11. I think they were 10 from 10. Last time you were on, Jake, they won again. 4 clear of West Ham with a game in hand. The under 18s, who were top, not top anymore, they did draw 2 at Brighton. Brighton got a late equaliser. They're just behind West Ham on goal difference. So West Ham have played a game more. So Spurs and West Ham really flying in the Academy Stakes. And the women, it was a double whammy for Spurs against Man City this weekend. Lost 2-0 at home to City in the WSL. Poor performance. I think the next step for the women is to be regularly playing well against the bigger teams. They beat City a few years ago. A really lucky win up at City. They beat Arsenal this year, but they've got a terrible record against United. Arsenal, yeah, they beat them, but City, Chelsea that they've never beaten. Not even sure they've got a draw against Chelsea. But listen, they're at the start of a new era, a new manager, players coming in. So disappointing result. But the men lost 1-0. You said to me, Jake, when was our last big FA Cup win?
I said West Ham away quarter-final 2001.
Rebrov.
I looked through. If you look at the last 23, 20, 25 years, who we've beaten in the FA Cup, it is appalling.
We've got a bad record against the big teams.
Yeah, appalling. We lost City this year. Who knocked us out? Oh, well, we've lost to a couple of championship teams.
The best was probably Brighton 2 years ago, I'd possibly say, under Conte at home. That was probably the most recent significant win, which wasn't even that significant. I think it was third or fourth round, and Brighton weren't as good as they were, and they're not top side. But we've just terrible record, awful.
Yeah, and it's another year without a trophy, and I've kind of become immune to it. And people laugh, "Oh, lol, Spurs, no trophy." But for me, yeah, it's disappointing. I think this is a season very much where we need to push on in the league, and I know that we could have. We would have been able to attack both the players coming back and no Europe. It was the year to attack both. You get City in the cup, every chance you're going out. Been a big build-up, as a big hype, and Ange had said we're going to play the same way. City was so good, but I feel like we didn't play well at all.
No, I didn't. I don't think we played well at all. I thought actually we defended pretty well. Okay, they got that goal that was disallowed. I got through. I'd say I got through to about half time and felt that although we hadn't had much of the ball, I didn't feel we were massively in trouble. It didn't feel like we were clinging on. It just felt a bit like whenever we got forward, just a bit meh, wasn't it?
It was very meh.
Couldn't get anything going. Like attacking patterns of play, kind of a couple of bad final balls, couple of players trying to take on an extra man and ending up down a blind alley. Johnson did that a couple of times. It wasn't the Tottenham that I've come to expect watching at home. It was weird. It was just a weird performance. And to be fair, City weren't that good. I don't think.
Did you not think? I thought.
I felt like City had us at arm's length the whole game. They had complete control. They didn't need to be at a certain level, and I just felt like they were always going to nick it, even late on. I was hoping that we'd get one counter attack or a set piece, but I wasn't surprised when they nicked it late. You just felt like it was coming, and they were building a bit. Højbjerg made them 2 mistakes.
Yeah,
chances would just come in.
De Bruyne missed.
Yeah, De Bruyne
Alvarez missed one.
Bernardo Silva missed one. Doku missed one. I mean, a shame to concede to such a scrappy goal. Whether it was a foul or not, I don't think it was a foul. I know a lot of people do, but
I think the keeper's got to be stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because was it you that said you'd rather have conceded than drawn?
Look, I didn't want to. We talked about this, didn't we? Because you wanted a replay.
The only reason why I would disagree is because potentially Sarr back, Maddison 2 more games under his belt, we would have been potentially full strength. That's the only reason why. And we've got this record against them. Although City in a replay.
Of course, I would rather a replay than loss, but I wasn't. I wasn't.
Now you're saying
No, I wasn't running around kicking the cat, and I do have a cat. I do have a cat. I wasn't kicking the cat in anger that we'd lost. I just feel away to City. At that point, I'm like, right, let's just concentrate and get in the top 4.
I was the same as you, but I think that was partly because of the way the game went on, the way that the game panned out. It wasn't one of those games where we had loads of chances that we missed. It was just a bit. At the end of the game, it was just a bit like. Ugh.
I think also the benches as well. the bench, you know,
Oh my God!
an hour in, we're bringing on a not fit at all Maddison who hardly touched the ball, Skip, chucking on Skylar late on, and Doku and De Bruyne come on.
Yeah,
What
the
can you do?
difference.
That's been the story of our season, really. Well, more or less since that Chelsea game.
Hopefully, well, it will be improving now because we could go, you know, Everton. Essentially, we could be having Saar, Bissouma and some back.
It's what Angelo Tyro says here in the comments. Man City didn't allow Spurs to play how they like, compare the two benches, as you said, Jake. And I just think I disagree with you, Jake Robson. I thought City were excellent, especially in the first 20 minutes. We couldn't get out, but we spent the entire game not being able to get it out. Get it out. Get what out? Get out. It's a game where you sort of pine for Kane. I don't know. We've been here before. Someone to hold the ball up and spin it in wide. Kulusevski did it a couple of times. I felt
Richarlison did it a couple of times.
He did. Held the ball up. It's not the same class, is it? Kulusevski could have put Werner in a couple of times and didn't.
It was one of the poorest I've seen Kulusevski play, I think.
I have to say, I thought City were excellent.
Excellent at what, though?
Just the way they squeezed the game.
Yeah.
Their quality of passing. I sat in a different seat, and their quality of passing was just
12:40. Sorry, just as we're live, just talking to the producer.
The other thing, though, I think that the thing that I was thinking as I was watching the game was that when we were just endlessly happy to pass the ball around at the back without much of a problem, despite City's really
trying to get City to come onto us.
Yeah, and I thought, and it just. What, as a sort of side point, what just amazes me is how comfortable, and we it's been like this all season, but how comfortable and how comfortable we are to pass the ball around the back, even when you've got City, who are, you know, let's face it, them and Liverpool are the kind of old school pressing team, you know, the kind of original pressing teams, and it just didn't matter. We're just passing, even Vicario's lobbing balls,
which is
over.
Great.
Yeah,
but something's got to happen, and I know this is one game where it hasn't really happened for us. The first time got in since Milan at home that we hadn't scored in any game, any competition, home or away. And you just have to say, well done, City. And I think the players we didn't have available, Son, Maddison, Bentancur had his poorest game for a while. Højbjerg actually had a decent game. Yeah. Højbjerg, I thought, until the last 15 minutes where you say a couple of air kicks, gave the ball away. We just weren't able to beat their press. And I just thought you talk about the way we play. Passing out, it's great to see the way City do it. Oscar Bob comes in.
Every player is so technically gifted.
Yeah,
it was, you know, Diaz to Walker, back to the keeper, Bernardo Silva, Alvarez, Foden. Every touch and every pass is perfect.
And I was thinking about this when we get out, the ball will go into Johnson or Werner, especially Johnson. He's receiving the ball back to goal on the touchline, nowhere to go. City don't do that. They're all receiving the ball in the half turn. Actually, a friend of mine made a good point that if Lo Celso was playing, we might have been able to get out more because he plays on the half turn, he gets out and he gets away, and all of a sudden you're away and you've got those options. Like you said, I thought Kulu had his poorest game, but how disappointed were you then to be out? The other thing, though,
when it doesn't work, us playing like that is when it makes it look even worse, because there were a couple of moments, not when we were passing out, but when we won the ball back off City around our penalty area, and there's this real, like, almost franticness to try and get the ball forward. And you've got to be so precise as an attacking player with what you're doing. And the person running off you's got to be so precise with the timing of his run. And that was just a bit off, coupled with the fact that City are able to overload the central areas, kind of in the middle third, makes it very difficult to counter them. Sometimes they can be very easy to counter, but whatever they did the other day, every time we tried to counter, they snuffed us out. Whether it was we didn't get men forward enough, they got men.
I don't think Kulusevski was releasing the ball quick enough.
He wasn't. So that's where it looked like, every time we got the ball, we were just rushing to get the ball forward, and it just didn't quite come off. In other games, we've seen it happen against Newcastle, even early doors against Villa. We were picking them off. For some reason, against City on Friday, we just weren't able to.
I think it was all flat. You said you were there.
I feel like we missed. I don't know about you two, but I feel like we missed a trick with Werner. I thought Werner was good.
They didn't get the ball to him enough.
I watched a 2-minute clip on Twitter the other day. He made about 15 runs. We just didn't spot
which was odd.
Yeah,
every single time, and Walker was high up the pitch, and he had so much space in behind. And the one time we picked him out,
Walker
was there.
Yeah, and that was late.
I don't think Werner did as I thought he's promising in the 2 games. I don't think he did much wrong at all.
Yeah, I've seen a few people.
And he played a really good pass through to Johnson for our only chance. It was Werner, right?
It was Werner's pass. I've seen a few people criticise him. Said it
not
2 weeks ago. You know what you're going to get from Werner.
For me.
I thought he was decent.
He'll improve with Maddison, a fitter Bentancur, Sarr, Bissouma, Son.
Well, son of a gun's been back on. With a full squad, we can match any team in the league, including City. But just take one of our 2 best players out and it's a struggle. The next 6 games will make or break our season. Well, it is our season. Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about the City bench. You can take Haaland, De Bruyne, Doku out.
That's their best, probably front three with Foden, isn't it?
You can take them out and look what they've got. Did you feel like it was flat? I mean, I talked about it last week. Unfortunately, couldn't make the game. Jake wasn't there. So you're
sound flat.
Yeah, the pre-match was good.
Yeah.
But it felt like, you know, when you go to a really big game and you get that, you know, that pre-match feeling, and then so quickly City was so on top of us. Although it was 0-0, it fell flat quickly, and then there was a period where we had that chance and we got a few corners in the second half. The atmosphere was just a bit. It felt like no one in the ground fully believed we could go and win the game. Even me, I was like going into the last 10 minutes thinking, oh, you know, this could be a really famous big. But no one really. Didn't feel like the players did, the fans did.
I think you're right. The way City snuffed us out in the first 10, 15 minutes.
And then when we
squeezed it all.
When we went out, it didn't feel like it was the same as a Middlesbrough, Sheffield United. It was more like we've lost to City rather than we're out of another cup. Yeah. That's how I felt.
They finally got their goal at the stadium, but they've still not scored from open play against us at the stadium. So there's still something for Pep to dream of.
I hope that's something that they work on, though, Tottenham the defence, because people are going to see that, aren't they?
On Vicario,
and see that you can get
Diaz was bundling Vicario from every corner.
Yeah, there is that. The only, I'm sure they will work on it. There have been a couple of goalkeepers that have had problems with that this season. It's kind of a tactic that's come in a little bit more. Stick a couple of players on. I think Alisson had a problem in one of the games against.
Well, Alisson got that. That was the only thing that I thought he got a softer foul against City for Kanji,
it was City,
and it got given.
Consistency, you want that.
Yeah, but what a ball! I mean, what a corner in as well. But Maddison, that's the kind of thing Maddison can do in time for sure.
I want to ask you quickly about Brennan Johnson, because I was worried about him about 6 weeks ago, maybe even more. I think he's a talented player, but I worry about his mentally, maybe his confidence, and he's not offering anything. It's a bit of a sore point on social media. You say anything about Johnson and you get jumped on. He's only young. He's only just got here. The price tag's not his fault, which I totally agree with. The price tag has nothing to do with him. I think we've overpaid drastically, but it's a little bit concerned that he's not doing enough. I know he's put a couple of lovely crosses in for Richarlison goals, but I want to see more.
I'm not going to go too hard on him, but the 2 Manchester games, he was awful. He looks like he's lacking belief. I know a lot of people have compared him to Sessegnon, which, Sessegnon scared of his own shadow at times. And the first half, it looked like he was really, really afraid of trying to beat a man. He was cutting back every time, and there's gaps in behind City, and he just looks afraid. He looks like he's scared to make a mistake, and he's got no confidence. Even the chance that he had, it looked like he should have gone round the keeper.
It's easy for us to sit here and say, but I agree with you.
I was right behind that, and when it went through, all it needed was a touch, and he sort of snatched at it when
he took the easier option.
The keeper was out before he was there. He couldn't have possibly beat him.
By the way, on their keeper, I thought he's
brilliant.
I mean, he was passing the ball better than most of us. That's their reserve keeper. Yeah. Jake Robson on
how much time are you going to give him? Is time up?
It's not up.
Well, he's not going to get loads of time now with Son and Maddison back, Werner in there. He could be dropped for tomorrow.
Yeah, I suspect he'll be on the bench tomorrow if Maddison starts and put Kulusevski back on the right.
Yeah, maybe.
I want him. No, I don't want to sit here and say I don't think he's doing it.
But I wonder now if Kulusevski, if I don't know, is Kulusevski just going to go back straight on to the right? I mean, his best position, he's played better, I think, since Maddison's been out for us. I think this has been his best period of games that he's had at the club.
I prefer him on the right.
Yeah, I think I prefer him on the right.
I don't disagree, but I just...
And also, you prefer him to Johnson or you prefer him outright?
I prefer him to Johnson, obviously, on the right.
It's a shame that Kulu's not quick enough. Johnson is rapid, but he's not using it.
I'm convinced that that Johnson will come good. And the reason why I'm convinced is because I think Ange will just get it out of him. If it's a confidence thing, Ange he'll just deal with it, right. One way or another. And I think we're still only... Well, we're halfway through the season, and he hasn't played. hasn't played that many games.
Well, he started the last.
Yeah, he's had a little.
He
he's had a
needs
run.
to
Could
rest.
do the rest. And maybe
He
coming
needs
off
to
the
come out
bench.
the team,
Because this is live, shows all over the place. We're going to jump straight to Brentford. We're going to come back to City. We do have a returning Brentford guest. If our producer could press the button and let in Natalie Sawyer. Natalie, hello.
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 How is everyone?
Good to see you again. Welcome back to An Echo of Glory.
Thank you very much. Nice to be with you all.
So you're joined with Jake Sanders and Jake Robson, who you know.
Hello.
So we've just
Hello.
been whinging about Friday's defeat to City, but we're going to start looking ahead to tomorrow night against Brentford, your team. I was having to think about Brentford. And obviously, the big story is Ivan Toney being back, and you've lost 5 in a row, and then you beat Forest. Does it feel? And I don't want to make this sound disrespectful to the other members of the team, but does it feel like actually this is a bit of a mini season now for Brentford? 19, 20 game starts here. Ivan's back. See where we can go.
Yeah, I would say so. I think at the start of the season, we were optimistic that we could cope without him. And I think our sort of results showed that at the start. But then injuries, I know you've had injuries as well, but injuries, we just started losing players left, right and centre. And that's when our form really started to dip. And as soon as we lost Brian and Burmo, it just felt awful. Like we just didn't have, it felt like there was no positive outlet in the team as much as they were trying. And Burmo's pace and ability on the wing was just missing in that team. So to have Ivan Toney back and already scoring, albeit in controversial circumstances, is just a big plus for us. And he is yet another outlet for us to use. He'll be part of the build-up play. It'd be great to see how he forms a relationship with like Neil Maupay and at present Keane Lewis-Potter as well. And for him, it's probably a great mini season because obviously he still wants to get into the Euros team. He also wants to make sure that if there is a big money move in the summer, he's got to prove to everybody that it's worth that. So yeah, there's lots of pluses for Ivan Toney returning.
Were you at the Forest game? And if you were, did it feel different? Was everybody lifted?
Yeah, very much so. Weirdly, I think Brentford itself, we went to town on him returning with all the sort of fanfare before and all the social media boosting of him returning to the team. And there was a part of me that wanted to play it down because I was thinking we're expecting someone to hit the ground running here. But as soon as he was in the team and that game kicked off, you could just feel his presence and that sort of leadership, that guidance that he has within a team. And hopefully for us, that means we can move ourselves further away from the bottom 3 because we were being drawn into that relegation battle. And as I say, maybe have a slightly more positive end to this season.
Yeah.
You obviously mentioned being drawn towards the bottom 3, but before the Forest game, it was obviously 5 defeats in a row. Were any fans sort of fearing for Thomas Frank's position at any time, or how did you sort of feel about that?
Yeah, personally for me, no, I can't ever talk negatively about Thomas Frank because what he's achieved for us has just been absolutely incredible. But there were fans talking about is his time coming to an end? I think the board would have looked at the fact our injuries have been so severe that we've lost such key personnel. It wasn't just fringe players. I was talking about first 11 players that we were missing, that I think they would have understood that he was spinning plates. And yeah, it wasn't great. Don't get me wrong. It's not enjoyable, obviously, to go on a losing run like we were on. But I think most fans understood that it was kind of things beyond our control and that we were just going to have to hope Ivan Toney returning and Brian and Burma will return. Kevin Schade will return and players like that will return this season. That hopefully means we can go on a more positive run.
Well, take us through then to this game because you mentioned players out. What kind of team can we expect Brentford to come to Tottenham with then?
Probably won't be too dissimilar to what we saw against Forest. So it'll be probably a 3-5-2, but obviously predominantly more 5 at the back, I would have thought. You'll definitely obviously see Ivan Toney line up. It will be, we are, like I say, we're missing so many key individuals. Rico Henry on the left wing back has been such a big miss for him because that dynamism that he brings down that left-hand side it's so irreplaceable. And I know we've just brought in Sergio Reguilon, who can't play, obviously, because he's on loan from you. Yeah. But he's kind of been brought in to be that Rico Henry role. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play a little bit more, but obviously won't be able to play tomorrow night. So I think it's basically we're going to say, here you go, have the ball, Spurs. Let's try and ensure that you can't break us down, and we'll try and counter as quick as we can. But it'll be I'm pretty sure that you'll have the ball for a long period of that game. But that's just how we're going to line up, I imagine.
How do you think Jake looks in the Echo of Glory Baseball Cup? I liken him to Marky Mark, if you remember him from back in the day.
Yeah, I see it. I see where you're going for it. You're going back to sort of 90s. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he's rocking.
Pulls it off well.
He's rocking the merch. You were there. I think you said you were there last year. Brentford beat us 3-1, and that was Tony's first game of his ban. And I think Spurs were in a bit of a bad place with Conte, and there was talk about Kane still going, and it was the last home game of the season. And I think we all predicted a home win for Brentford, disrespectfully, and we were all wrong. You know, you've got Tony back. You've said you've got a number of players out. We've got players coming back. Are you going tomorrow night? And how do you see the game?
Unfortunately, I'm not going. Motherly duties mean that I can't go. But I was at that game last season, like you've mentioned, and that was just a second half comeback of pure joy from a Brentford perspective. I mean, it was two very contrasting halves, if I remember correctly, from our perspective. Second half, weirdly that second half actually was kind of what made me think we're going to be all right without Ivan Toney. We don't need him because we played it on the floor. Because often at times we've been a bit more direct when Ivan's in the team, but this time around it was more get it down, play through the lines as we tried to do, and we ended up scoring 3, like you mentioned. Obviously, there's no Brian and Burmo. Obviously, there's no Johan Wieser as well. They were the 2 goal scorers in that game. Like I say, I think it's going to be a bit of a tricky evening for us, especially now it's Ange Postecoglou and it's a different style of football. I'm a little bit nervous about it, if I'm honest, because we've also got
so am I.
a really tremendous run coming up of fixtures. So it'd be great to get something out of this, but I'm a bit worried, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, I was looking at so Spurs away. You then play City twice in the space of 4 games. So Tottenham away, City home, Wolves away, which is not easy, Liverpool at home, City away, West Ham away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away.
Bloody hell.
No. What I will say is we do tend to raise our game.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Yeah.
So they will relish it, and having Ivan Toney back in, he is going to love it. Absolutely love to lead that team against those clubs that you've mentioned. So it's not a great fixture list coming up. It's going to be tough, but actually, I think they're going to try and raise themselves for the challenge, and hopefully, we'll get a few points on the board anyway.
Prediction for this one?
Well, I can't go against Brentford, obviously, even though I'm very nervous because I do love the Ange Postecoglou style that we're seeing and how you flood forward. I mean, James Maddison, is he fit now?
Yeah, I suspect he'll start.
Yeah, because he's annoying, isn't he? Let's go on. He is one of those players that riles the opposition so much, as in fans, and then he still delivers something on the pitch for I mean, I remember he did it for Leicester. He's done it obviously for Spurs as well, but he's just a bit of a menace when it comes to Brentford. So I'm going to have to go with a 2-2 draw.
Okay, well, I think you said that last time. But you won 3-1.
It means we've scored twice, which is quite exciting, and we've ruined the night for Spurs. We haven't lost. That's how I look at it.
Well, I say this every time. Good luck for tomorrow. I don't really mean it, but good luck. And listen. I hope for the rest of the season. It's a really, really tough run. Hopefully, you can get through it. And you've got Burnley on March the 16th. Maybe looking forward to that one next. But listen,
I'm going to that one as well.
All the way up to Burnley.
I am. I'm going to that one. So
proper fan, Jake.
Good effort,
Jake. This is you could take note, Jake.
Good effort. Very good effort.
Natalie, really, really appreciate you joining us once again. And no, honestly, good luck for tomorrow and good luck for the rest of the season. And thanks so much.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks,
Natalie.
Cheers, Natalie.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, so
I'm fairly sure she said 2-2 last time.
Well, I remember that game actually. I was just reminded of it. Was that the game when Kane scored the flick back to him and he whipped it in from a free kick?
Arguably his best ever goal for us, wasn't it?
Best ever goal?
Best ever.
Best ever strike.
Arsenal at home.
Yeah.
That Arsenal
Situation taken out, that's probably the best goal he scored,
It was a brilliant strike.
Yeah. The Arsenal one, but
in
terms of actual strike, that was...
I remember thinking, why? Because he'd had a go at obviously doing a load of direct free kicks. And I remember thinking when he scored that, why hasn't this just been the way to do it? Get it to him so it's rolling, and then he just whip it in.
Does that count as a free kick?
No. So it counted
but
as
who
a
cares?
goal from a set piece, but
Right.
not officially. Doesn't count as a direct free kick.
Kulusevski got the assist for that.
Could it? Yeah.
That 2-yard flick.
Yeah, I have an issue with assists. It is my profession. Here we go.
Stats talk.
No, I think that, and it's funny enough, you get a lot of ex-players that I work with who are similar. It's like, why is Kulusevski getting an assist for that? I think it's Opta can't go back any further now. It's too late.
Well, it's like that thing where for example, or that Vertonghen one for Son against Burnley. But if you beat 5 players, put a cross in, and it's an own goal, you don't get the assist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we're too far down the road. I'd like to see maybe something called like actual assists, or something where you literally go, right, that was actually a brilliant assist. Let's park.
Sounds like another podcast series to me.
Let's park the Man City game. No, nobody was happy.
I think we park it. We put it in the bin.
Yeah. Stick it in the bin.
Stick it in the bin. Let's look forward to Brentford. Who do we? What do we think? Oh, you want to come on to that? Who's going to be our starting lineup?
No, we'll do it. I think this is usually Gary's shtick, isn't it? But
no, I think it's interesting when you've got players coming back, and we suddenly actually are we at the point? Is Lo Celso going to be fit? No. But we're suddenly at the point where actually, who do you pick in midfield? We were just kind of talking about it.
It's got to be one change.
Is it a given that Maddison is he fit enough to start? Do we think?
I think he alluded to it.
Right.
One change in either Højbjerg or Johnson coming out. Could he play Maddison, Bentancur, or Kula? Is that a bit attacking? If they're going to give us the ball for the...
Well, he's played very attacking games, like Villa at home.
Well, he played... That was Lo Celso, Bentancur and Kula, wasn't it? Pretty similar.
I think he can...
I wouldn't be against Johnson coming out. Don't need Kula and Maddison.
So Maddison, Bentancur.
I'd have Maddison for Johnson.
It's a shame that...
How good did Van der Ven look?
Oh,
brilliant.
We'll come back to that in a sec. It's a shame that it's Basuma and Sarr who went, because I don't think Bentancur's best position is in that six.
No.
You need someone behind him.
Well, Gary reckons that when they're all back, it could be Bentancur,
Maddison, Sarr.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have Saturday. Everton. I know that's looking a bit ahead, but
and then when Basuma comes back, though, he was saying it could be Basuma and Bentancur fighting it out for the 6.
We could have our strongest team at Everton. Suddenly going from...
What if they all get knocked out?
Well, just Son. No?
Yeah. Oh, you're not putting Basuma in our strongest team?
Well, Basuma or Sarr is sort of...
just Son.
Either and or is fine.
I think so. I think South Korea could lose tonight. I don't think they're a great side. I think Jurgen has not been a good manager. I don't think anywhere, really.
Oh, he was all right for was it the
USA?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great manager. They drew 3-3 with Malaysia.
Did he manage the German team ever?
At the 2006
World
World Cup.
Cup. Yeah, didn't they do quite well? Then they got semi-finals, didn't they?
No, quarters. Left to Argentina.
He didn't do a great job with America either, did he?
No.
He's not done a great job.
Hopefully he does
Was he Bayern Munich manager for
I think so. Hopefully he does a bad job tonight.
Up the Saudis.
Yeah. Like I say, today I feel Saudi.
Okay.
I think that'll be the team. I think Maddison will come back in. I'm only a little
Are we
bit...
looking forward to this game?
I am looking forward to it.
I think City was just a blip, right? Like that was like easily. Well, I say easy. It was probably it was the flattest game of the season. I don't know if it's the worst performance. It was the flattest performance of the season. There's no way we're following it up with another one of those against Brentford at home.
It feels like the start of a big chance for us. The Chelsea game's off. I think 4 of the next 5 league games are home.
Are they?
I think Brentford, Wolves, Brighton, and Brentford, with Everton away in there.
Palace, sorry, yeah. Brentford at home, Everton away, Brighton home, Wolves home, Chelsea games off, Palace at home.
Yeah, sorry, Palace. So none of them are easy, but there's 5 teams that are around sort of 10th to 15th.
After tomorrow, all 3 of those home games are 3
Saturday,
o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Saturday,
I did say when was the
3
last time we had 2 in a row, let alone 3. We got consecutive weekends, haven't we? Wolves and Brighton.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Traditional, isn't it?
That upsets me.
What, 3 o'clock on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Don't like it.
No, don't like it.
What do you want? 8 o'clock on a Saturday night?
Well, to be fair, because they're home games, it's all right. If they were away, I wouldn't. I'd be really.
You want to watch them?
Yeah. because I would have thought that we've done. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know how it works in terms of the TV picks, but I would have thought we'd done enough to be on TV a bit more than that. At least we're at home, so we can go.
We've been on most games this season.
Well, I know
recently.
because we've been great.
Yeah, but these games are not that.
Yeah, Brighton,
exciting.
Wolves, and Palace.
Brentford's on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going.
No, I know,
but yeah,
Everton's on.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I'm talking about the 3 o'clock games. But yeah, anyway, it's fine because we'll just go. I see.
Let's get us under the radar. Keep us off the telly.
I just think that we're at home. There's nothing apart from that City game. There's nothing to suggest out of any games at home. Maybe West Ham, but that was in the mid. That was about 3 games in a week, wasn't it? There's nothing to suggest that we won't be straight back on it.
Villa we lost, but we were really good.
Oh, we were really good. Yeah, exactly.
That's what's in my head. Like no one does 2 home defeats in a row like Spurs. I think we'll beat
not this season.
I think we'll beat Brentford, but it's just the back of me. There has to be a reaction. Southview Coys TV.
But they will. I know what Natalie said. They'll come and. Well, she didn't say part of the bus, but they will. They'll try and hit us on the break. But they're not the same. I mean, they're not the same team defensively as Man City. They are very well organised defensively.
Yeah.
But I expect, in contrast to the City game, the opening 20, 25 minutes to be the kind that we've seen in games this season. It's just whether, as Gary always says, we can score enough goals
early.
in that time.
Southview Coys TV, another podcast has been on. Burnley wasn't any better. No, Burnley was poor, but then again, they'd all gone.
Burnley was difficult.
Yeah.
The cup game?
Yeah, we didn't play well. I think he's saying it was a similar performance to City. You expect us to go out and play better against Burnley, but the players had just gone. There was no Son, there was no Sarr.
It's a bit less relevant in the cup as well, isn't it? Just get through. I know you can say that about the league, but we went from Bournemouth to losing 4 players in one game or 3 players in one game, and what was it? Sarr, Bissouma, or no, Bissouma didn't play. Son. Bentancur had just come back.
Is there this worry that everyone's now expecting us to play this open attacking football every single week, and if we don't, we get a little bit disappointed, even if we win the game?
No, but we will play like that. It's just whether the opposition stops us. Is that not fair? That is the way we play. Like Ange doesn't change really how we play. We've seen that even when we're 9 men against Chelsea. You're going to play the same way, as you said. We'll always give it a crack. So, yeah, I mean, there is that expectation, but I don't see that changing at this point. It's just whether the whoever comes can do enough to stop us playing that way. I think Burnley sort of managed it a bit.
It just wasn't very swashbuckling. I wanted to use that word,
but Burnley, but Man City were, as you said, they did a job on us a little bit, but they're good enough to do that. Whereas I feel like Burnley,
we haven't played that well for a while, really.
Bombshell, really? I thought we played well against Bournemouth by the last 15 minutes.
Brighton wasn't great. Everton wasn't great.
Brighton was really, really poor. I feel like we had extra. Did we have players missing from that game as well?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Leeds and Gill came on. They were.
Yeah, it's been such a.
It'll be the next few games.
First hour or so at United was pretty good.
The next few games will be the first games for 3 months where we've got genuine options on the bench. That will make a big difference.
Yeah, as Son of a Gun said, it's the next 6 games will make or break our season because there will be probably the other odd niggle and injury and maybe a suspension here or there. But you mentioned Brighton and Bournemouth and this game and Burnley and that game. It's been so fractured.
Oh, I'm not criticising.
No, but it's been so fractured 100%. That the hope now is we can have a run where we look at the bench and go, right, there's 3 or 4 names there.
I think we've done well.
They've done brilliantly.
It's a shame that we drew City. Yeah. Because, majority of other seasons we would be, in touch with the top 4 and still in the cup with potentially a decent 5th round draw. We've done well. I think everyone would have taken that moment Romero got sent off against Chelsea and Maddison got injured. At half-time in Chelsea, you would have bit your hand off for what we got now. Well, I would have.
Yeah, I think
and beginning of the season.
Definitely. But even though we went 5 without a win, we've clawed it back quite well, beating, Bournemouth and Everton and West Ham and
how lucky were Wolves?
When Arnie Slot turned us down in July, you
didn't know where we were going.
Yeah, exactly.
How lucky were Wolves, West Ham, and Villa to come up against? You can't win every game, of course, but it was such a bombshell after that Chelsea.
But even so, the way the games went to get 0 points from them, on another day
we beat Wolves.
We beat Wolves. West
Scored
Ham
first in all of them.
Villa was a freak. another season we're 3-0 up after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
10 men against Chelsea, we're still probably winning that game.
Certainly not losing it.
Certainly not losing it. So, you know.
But we're here.
I think it's a great point.
Ifs and buts.
If I'd said to you when Van der Veen, Madison and all that happened against Chelsea, if I said to you we're going to be 5th.
What we 1 or 2 points?
2 points, I think.
Yeah, 1 or 2. If I'd said to you when Van der Ven got injured that he's going to come back and look like the player that he was when he...
3 behind Villa.
Villa got Newcastle tonight as well. Potential drop in there.
Yeah, we could be...
Newcastle look abject away from
Yeah, they do. They do. But they've still got some quality players.
And Villa have got the Europe coming up as well.
Yeah.
So have West Ham below us.
Well, that's the potential advantage. We're the only team besides United in the top 8 even with Brighton that have got nothing. No Europe. No, well, United have got the cup still. We're the only team in one competition in the top 8, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
Hopefully, we know what happened the last time we were in nothing. 2 years ago, we got 4th.
Yeah.
Different scenario, but the 1 game a week thing should,
It does feel like, I think we'll know more tomorrow night, and I'm really hopeful we'll win, and I think we will. But if we do, it feels like we're out the other side now. Get Son back. Hopefully they lose today. Just feels like spring is coming. Not only
spring is literally
coming. I just feel this is.
It's also the spring in our season.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
I
We've
am.
been
You
through
said
the
it better
winter,
than me.
and now it's the spring.
Right.
Okay.
Before we come to predictions for Brentford, I just want to come back to a couple of other bits. We were talking about
any other business.
We're talking about memorabilia. Norman Stanley Fletcher. I'm embarrassed, obviously now, but this is amazing. As a 13-year-old, I had a piece of cotton wool with the blood of Mike England following a head injury against Coventry. You keep that?
How do you get it?
If you're still listening, Norman, how'd you get it?
Would I keep it? I'm not sure I would.
I remember.
But that's just me.
Have you ever had anything like that from a famous person? I remember when I was about, I would say 11, going on holiday to Italy, and Gabriele Batistuta tapped me on the head. And
he came up to you. Oh, he's like, "Hey, Johnny, how's it going?"
Yeah. And he tapped me on the head, and I was like, "I'm not going to wash my hair for the next 6 weeks."
Why did he tap you on the head?
We were in a hotel.
You were in his way.
It's more of a slap.
At the breakfast buffet. Get out of the way.
No, we were in this hotel in Italy, and next door was like just a local club. A small club, smaller than Boreham Wood, but just a local club. And there was a pre-season friendly going on, and I could hear something going on. And I said to the waiter, "What's going on over there?" He said, "Oh,
in your best Italian."
In my best Italian. Gary does the accent. He's not here. He said, "Oh, there's a game going on." He didn't know who was playing, so I went over there, and it was a pre-season friendly between whoever the town was and Fiorentina.
Oh.
And they came off the pitch, and obviously I was standing at the railings because it's a small local ground. And I was like, "Oh, Batistuta." I think he was holding his boots. I was probably like one of those first kids with a sign like, "Can I have your boots?" And I said to him, "Can I have your boots?" And he just sort of looked at me, smiled, and just ruffled my hair.
Ah, right, okay.
So you didn't get the boots.
I didn't get the boots. But Norman had the blood of Mike England following a head injury against Coventry. We did have another bit of contact from someone that I want to read out to you. It was quite long. I sent it to Jake, and he was like, "You can't read the whole thing." But
it's a good story.
It's a really good story from a listener.
You could read the whole thing.
Well, I'll paraphrase from a listener, Ian Leader, who said, "I want to tell you about my experience back in 1971. It's the final game of the season. Spurs were playing Arsenal at White Hart Lane. Arsenal needed to either win the game or draw 0-0 to win the league. We all know what happened at the end. They did. They did go on and win the league. Anyway, he got a ticket for this game. 11 years old he was. And I'm just trying to find the main bit here, really. Where is it? Basically, in a nutshell, they were standing in a car park and
after the game,
and the bloke who he went to the game with, his mate Mervyn,
what was it?
Knew Ray Kennedy, and Mervyn said to Ray, "I'll give you a lift home." And Ray Kennedy was like, in those days, I don't know if the players went on a coach or they went home under their own steam or what. But basically, in a nutshell, Ian Leader, 11 years old, Ray Kennedy has just won the league for Arsenal at Tottenham, and his mate Mervyn's giving him a lift home. Imagine going to Spurs now and giving a lift to an opposing tomorrow.
Martinelli a lift home.
Giving Martinelli a lift home.
No, I wouldn't do it at all.
So that was a nice bit. And the main point of the memorabilia was that Ray Kennedy signed his programme, and he wrote on it, "To Ian, with whom I travelled home with."
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But
Norman's replied.
Norman has replied. I just asked a copper who gave it to me. So it wasn't like Mike England gave it to him. He sort of wiped down his whatever it was with blood in it, chucked it, and the copper gave it to him. Okay.
Thank God for the copper.
All right. So, any other business?
We'll be out on the streets tomorrow. Come say hello to us.
Yeah. So Jake Jake will be wearing his Marky Mark Echo of Glory. Oh, you said you might know. Is it too cold? You wanted an Echo of Glory beanie hat, James.
Where are you doing this? Where exactly?
Oh, you going to the game tomorrow? No. Oh no, you can't.
This is after the game, right?
So before the game, let me just say, James, we need Echo of Glory beanie hats. Okay. So before the game, we are going to be outside around about the club shop. Got a little Spurs quiz for people that want to take part in it.
Around where the south side, the south stand kind of meets the high road, where Park Lane High Road. We've done it a couple of times already. We had some really good a quiz written by our very own quiz master here. We had we've done it a couple of times. The last time we did it, we got some great answers. It's up on our Instagram page. We put them. James has put them. I said we put them all together. James has put them all together.
It's on TikTok as well. We can talk about TikTok because Gary's not here.
And the guys that did, people come up to us, or we go up to people, and everyone seems really happy to do it. We get some great answers. We have a laugh. So if you're out and about, come find us.
We'll be there from about 5:45, 6 o'clock.
Somebody recognised you last time. Great podcast.
Yeah, I paid a bloke to come up to me. So, great podcast, mate. No, I'm going to write a little quiz, a little Spurs, little spoiler.
And there's prizes.
There will be prizes. A Spurs transfer window quiz I'm going to do. And so come and see us outside the club shop around about 6 o'clock. You're not there tomorrow?
Working.
Where are you working? In the office?
In the office. Amazon Prime, isn't it, tomorrow?
No, it's on TNT.
TNT.
Oh, fine.
So Jake and I will be there, as I say, outside the ground. So look out for us and come and have a chat and take part in the quiz. Prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going to say, I think they'll probably score 3-1 Tottenham.
3-1.
No, you've got to do something different.
Back to winning ways. Goals.
You're stuck in it. You're going 3-1.
I feel like 2-1 makes you feel a lot more confident. If you go 2-1, you're like, oh, don't think we're going to win, but I'm going to say we're going to win. 3-1.
Right. Okay, scorers?
Uh,
if you nail 3-1 with the scorers...
Well, it's got to be Tony for Brentford.
I'll get you something nice from the club shop. I'll get you an Echo... Porro hat trick. I'll get you an Echo of Glory beanie hat.
In no particular order. Oh, go on, you go.
Werner, Richarlison 2.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Werner to get his...
You can do it too, but I'm not going to buy you anything.
Break a habit of a lifetime. I reckon I'll go with Werner as well. Why not? Werner, definitely Richarlison to score, and I reckon Romero could get a headed goal. Yeah.
Irrelevant. I'm not buying anything. So Jake's on. I'll take you around the club shop. Buy something nice. If it's 3-1 Spurs, Werner 1, Richarlison 2.
Didn't your mum tell you don't accept anything from strangers?
We're going to win, aren't we?
Yeah, what's your prediction? Come on.
2-1. It's the nerve. I can't shake the nervy 2-1. Worryingly, I've been all right. I'm going to big myself up here because no one else is going to do it. I've been all right with the predictions. I said 2-2 against United.
Funny, anyone would think you work with football and numbers. So
no, I'm just a pessimistic Spurs fan. I said we'd draw with United, and I said we'd lose to City. Gary scared me into predicting a win against City, but really, it was
deep down.
Have we beaten Brentford yet in the Prem?
Oh, talk amongst yourselves. We must have.
Maybe one. Yeah, we did actually. We did.
When?
I think
We
early Conte.
We beat them in the League Cup.
It was early.
2-0 at home or 3-0 at home?
I think it was 3. I think we did them.
We beat them in the League Cup. When was that?
COVID.
Oh yeah, I worked at that game.
You worked?
I should have remembered.
We beat them.
We beat them 2-0 in probably
December 2021. 2-0. Kanyos own goal. I remember that. Yeah, and Son 0-0 away, 2-2 away, lost 3-1 at home, 2-2 away. So we've not won there. 3 draws there, and 1-1 and lost 1 at home. All right. Enjoy your work tomorrow night.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Thank you. We should also mention that we are recording live again on Thursday.
Deadline day.
Very quiet, isn't it?
Nothing's happening.
No.
We're not getting anything done either way, I don't think. Maybe Brian Gill out.
We're the richest club in London now, so
London is ours.
Yeah. So we're going
Only
to.
victory on Amazon Prime was against Brentford.
Oh, good knowledge from South View
Yeah,
College
that
TV.
one. Yeah. That's that one you're talking
It's not on Amazon Prime though.
No, it's on TNT. BT, if you remember that. We're going to record live again on Thursday. Post Brentford, pre Everton. We do have someone who made a lot of appearances for Everton coming on the show.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Is it Jake 3?
Is it Richarlison?
That would be good, wouldn't it?
No, it's not Richarlison. Boys, thank you for joining us. Thanks to those who have listened. Norman Stanley Fletcher, thank you. Says, great show, lads, as per. We really appreciate that. So, as I say, we're going to record again live on Thursday. Get involved with the show. Come see us outside the game tomorrow night. Jake, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hoping for 3 points tomorrow night. We will see you on Thursday, and up the Spurs.